Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me today. So, you have thought about where you wanted to move abroad and you've made a decision. So now it's time for you to go check out that place. So it's time for a scouting trip. So today we're going to talk about that scouting trip, how to make the most of your scouting trip. And we're going to reference Panama. However, these tips are things that you can use no matter where you decide to go to. So we're going to talk about things that you need to do prior to your scouting trip, things that you're going to do once you get on your scouting trip, and also things that you're going to do once you get back home. All right, so let's jump back into it. Now I have notes because I have lots of tips that I want to share with you today. So I'm going to be every now and then checking on my notes to make sure I'm not wandering too far off the particular topic. And also just to let you know, this is my first video that I'm recording. If you've been following me, I've been on the road for about 3 months, and we're also going to be talking about some of those ventures. So if these things interest you, make sure you hit the like and subscribe and click the notification so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. All right, so let's get right to it. Let's talk about the scouting trip. These are some things that you should do before you get on that plane. Okay, so first thing you want to do is to do some research. You want to actually research that particular country that you're going to. So if it's Panama, you're going to do some Googling, you're going to go to some Facebook communities, some groups, whatever you need to do. You're going to check out the different climates in different areas, check out some of the healthcare, check out some of the different areas that you want to live in. Check out some of the expat communities, or do they have communities where you want to go in. So do some research about that particular country before you go on the scouting trip. Okay, the next thing you want to do is set some objectives. What do you want to accomplish when you get on that scouting trip? Do you want to meet with some of the real estate professionals? Do you want to consult with a lawyer while you're here to talk about the residency status? Do you want to actually meet with some of the expats while you're here? Do you want to go look at some of the shopping malls to see what kind of clothes they have? Do you want to go in the grocery stores to see what kind of food they have? Whatever it is you want to accomplish, do you want to actually go inside of an apartment to see what you can get for your budget? Whatever it is that you want to accomplish, make sure you have some sort of, this is what I want to do when I get here, okay? So once you've done your research and thought about what you want to accomplish when you get here, you're going to set an itinerary. This could be something that doesn't have to be set in stone, but some sample of what you want to do when you're here. Like if you're here for 7 or 10 days, whatever it is, you might say, okay, day 1 and 2, I want to do this. Day 3 and 4, I want to maybe do some tourist stuff. Whatever it is, make sure you set yourself some kind of plan. And just make sure you have some flexibility because, you know, things can change once you get here. And what you can do is, don't have to spend a lot of money. You can get yourself a composition book. You know, these are at Walmart or any grocery store for like $1 and something. And you can put all your notes inside here. While you're doing some research, for instance, say you come across a Facebook community for whatever country you're interested in, and somebody's mentioning a really good resource, like a good driver or a good realtor. So you don't have to go back in the group and try to search that information. Get out your trusty little travel log that you're gonna keep and write that information in here. So in that way, you have these resources right at your fingertips when you need them. All right, okay, so once you decide all of that stuff, you're gonna determine where you're going to stay. If you're gonna stay in a hotel, if you're gonna stay in an Airbnb, make sure you click on the link because I'm gonna give you tips on how to pick the right Airbnb and hotel. Okay, so you got all of that squared away. So now you have bought your plane ticket and you are on your way to Panama. or whatever country is that you're deciding to relocate to and take a scouting trip. Okay, so now that you are here, once you have arrived in Panama, these are some of the things that you can do once you arrive. All right? Okay, so you can explore some of the neighborhoods. Now, there's neighborhoods, all kinds of neighborhoods in a particular country. So say you want to explore the city, but you also want to explore the beach, and you might want to explore the mountain neighborhood too. So whatever neighborhoods you reach that have some interest, then that's what you're going to explore. Or, hey, you might get here and something totally that you weren't thinking about, you're now interested in exploring. That way, when we talked about having some flexibility, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. So make sure you are out here exploring some different neighborhoods, get out and walk around, okay? Whatever is important to you. Is it important that your neighborhood has a grocery store? Is it important that it's walkable? Is it important that it's on the main strip? Is it important that it's tucked away? Think about all of these things that you want in your living environment and make sure you have them in your particular neighborhood, okay? So some other things that you can do while you're here, once you get to Panama, you can actually meet with some of the locals, okay? You can meet with some of the people that are living here. So attend some of the events in the community, okay? Meet some other expats and get their ideals in how life is for them. But also keep in mind, when you're getting other people's opinions, then their experience might not be your experience, okay? So take that with a grain of salt, because ultimately it is your decision on where you want to live and why you want to live there. So keep that in mind. Don't be like totally persuaded by someone else's opinion, okay? Use your gut, go with your own gut and your instincts. If a place feels good to you, then hey, you make that decision. Okay, some other thing you want to do is visit some of the local amenities in your particular country. You want to go to the supermarkets. I visited some supermarkets to see what kind of stuff they have on the shelves and also to compare prices. Okay, I had a list when I went in the store about my favorite things, then the things that I like to buy, and I wanted to know if the supermarket carried them, if they were accessible here, okay? You can also go to shopping malls. Look at the stores. Do you have any favorite stores or their clothes or whatever items that you've seen that are important to you? See if those are available in your particular place. So that's something that you can do also. You can go to different pharmacies, like say if you have a particular medicine that you need to get, see if it's carried at your particular pharmacy. How hard is it to get money out of the bank? What is the particular rules to open a bank account? These are all of the things that you need to consider on your scouting trip and things that you can check out when you're here on your scouting trip. Okay, another thing that you want to do is attend some events, whether it's a cultural event in a particular country or some sort of expat meetup, some sort of concert, because you want to get a feel of things that you do in your everyday life. How are they in this new country that you're thinking about moving to? So try to get to attend some sort of event so you can get a feel of the community that you want to live in. Okay, and another thing you want to do, we talked about this before, is to actually meet up with either a realtor, meet up with a attorney if you want to talk about the residency status. Hey, make yourself an appointment for just a regular physical while you're here. You know, check out the healthcare, a $60 physical. I mean, these are some of the things you want to do. You have to determine what's important to you. Some people like, oh, I don't care about none of those things. Whatever it is that's on your list that's important to you, then those are the things you want to check out. Okay, and another thing, you know, we talked about, I mentioned that up front, is taking notes. So you're gonna go out and spend $1 on something. This is gonna be the most valuable book that you're gonna have, because throughout your scouting trip, you wanna make sure you're taking notes, because you're gonna be gathering a lot of information from a lot of people. So take photos if you have to of different apartments, take down notes. You're basically going to be like a sponge when you get here, okay? You're gonna listen, and all of it might not be valuable information. Whatever you need, let it land. What you don't need, let it keep going. But the point is to be open to what you're hearing, because some of the things, you know, that you can learn to be a whole lot easier for you and to give you a soft landing once you decide where you're going to move. Okay, so those are some things that you can do on your particular scouting trip. Let me just look at my couple of notes over here to make sure we have covered some things, or the things that I think that are very important. And hey, I might have left out some stuff, but those are the main things. You want to think about, okay, if I'm going to live here, then what do I want to see while I'm here? What I decided to do when I came on my scouting trip 2 years ago, and I also have a video about that you can watch that, I'll put that in the description, is that I decided to stay in the Airbnb because I wanted to get a feel of the particular community that I wanted to be in, okay? Now, when I came 2 years ago, everyone was talking about, oh, the beach is the place to go. You know, you gotta come to the beach. And I had some time in the city, and I also had some time in the beach. And you can watch my video and I go into details about that. But you have to make the ultimate decision where you're going to live. And don't worry about what other people are saying, because people have different experiences. People have different things that they want. Some people want to live in a mountain. They want to have a cooler climate, okay? Some people want to live in the beach because, hey, they want to hear the ocean waves. They want to, you know, go for walks on the beach. They want to live by the beach. Others want to live in the city because they want to have maybe access maybe to more cultural activities. They want to have access to more restaurants. They want to have access to more things. So one thing about Panama is that there's all kinds of areas, all types of accommodations for all kinds of people to fit all kinds of budgets and all kinds of tastes. Okay, so make sure you use your gut and your instincts and let that be the guide, okay? And you're gonna have your notes, okay? And your scouting trip should be very successful. So do some research before you get here. Have a plan once you get here. Have a little flexibility. And when you get back home from your scouting trip, sit back, look at your notes, take some time to reflect. Say, how did I feel when I was in that apartment? I mean, I did things like I was walking around the neighborhood because I wanted my apartment to be in an area that was walkable, okay? I wanted to be able to go for a walk in the morning. I went to a grocery store because I wanted to see what the cost of the food was. I also wanted to know if I wanted to mail a package, how do I get my mail? I wanted to know about the banking. I met with an attorney because I wanted to talk about the residency process. I also saw some apartments while I was here. So I was in contact with a realtor. And I also met some expats while I was here to find out what is life for you in Panama. Where do you live? Or how do you like? What do you don't like about that? Those are things that I did once I was here because I had a plan and I had objective. I had things that I wanted to accomplish. I had information that I wanted to have while I was here. I'm going to give a tip for you. Do not get on a plane ticket, come to Panama, get in an expat group and say, okay, day 2, I'm here now, what should I do? So you mean to tell me you done bought a plane ticket and you didn't make any plans, you have no idea what you want to see or no idea what you want to do, no idea what you want to accomplish, and a group of strangers that know nothing about you is supposed to tell you what you should be doing? Come on. You can make better use of your time. I am empowering you, okay? Yes, it is nice to get opinions. It's nice to get referrals. I get all that. But you are ultimately in control of your life, okay? So you need to make these decisions. You need to have some kind of plan before you get here. You should have done some kind of research. You know what kind of life you want, what type of lifestyle you want. You putting that in a group, come on, people have no idea what you want to do. So I'm giving you some steps and some tips so that when you get here, okay, you're having a very productive scouting trip and you're just not winging it, because then you're gonna get back and say, oh, that place was horrible, I hate the place, I don't like it, I didn't get to see anything, the people weren't nice. Whatever it is you're gonna come up with because you failed to plan, okay? So take a little time, work out your particular scouting trip and make it happen. Okay, so let's talk about things that you want to do when you want to get back home. Okay, so you're going to sit back and reflect. You're going to think about, you're going to go back and look at your notes. One thing I like to do is, I love my list. When I'm making a major decision, okay, I'm going to have a list of pros and cons. So I do that on a lot of my major decisions, okay? So sit back and make a list of pros and cons of why, of things that you found out during your scouting trip and the cons, okay? And that might help you in your decision, okay? And if you need, there's some things you need to follow up on, go ahead and follow up on those particular things. Do the additional research. If there's some more information that you need before you need to make that decision, go ahead and do that. Okay, and also, if you're considering, other countries, take what you learned from this scouting trip to Panama and compare it with the other countries. Compare the cost of living, compare the expat communities, compare the activities, compare the type of lifestyle, compare those things together so you can make your ultimate decision. Okay, so based on all of that, based on your research, based on you coming on your scouting trip, based on your things you wanted to accomplish, based on your reflections, based on all of this, now it's time for you to make a decision. You should be able to make some sort of decision that's going to be best for you. And remember, trust your gut, okay? Trust your instincts. And after all of this, looking in Facebook groups, posting questions, getting referrals, talking to different expats, talking to other professionals, the bottom line is it's your decision and you are ultimately responsible for your own life, okay? So if this is something that you want to do, use these tips to help you make your scouting trip to moving abroad a whole lot easier. If you found this information useful, please let me know. If there's something that I missed that I should have talked about, hey, let me know in the comments as well. And if you like this video and have suggestions for more content, please let me know that too. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and don't forget to watch the other videos. I have a video on how to find an apartment in an Airbnb, and I also have my scouting video from 2 years ago. Make sure you watch that because it also has some great tips as well. Okay, so I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover in my notes. If I haven't, then blame it on my extended jet lag from my 3-month trip that I just got back from. All right, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and hope to see you on my next video.